Welcome to Ear Biscuits, the podcast where two lifelong friends talk about life for a long time. I'm Rhett.
And I'm Link. This week at the round table of dim lighting, boy, are we happy that you're here. We're going to have some fun. Listening to some calls from you and trying to sort it out. I think there might be a really funny voicemail that we're going to hear today.
I'd like to believe that, Link. Wonderhole episode 2.
You feeling good?
Season 2, episode 2 is out. That's the reason to feel good, because I think that, you're not supposed to have favorites. You're not supposed to have favorites, but I think this is my favorite episode.
Well, you did write it.
We all contributed to,
we all kind of conceptualized all of them.
This one
was very personal.
Yeah, and it, I don't know, I think it explores, we've never comedically explored what we comedically explored. We've seriously explored our spiritual stuff before, but a lot of times it gets too serious, and I like the idea of it being a silly exploration of it, and we've never figured out a way to do that, but we figured it out.
I think we figured it out.
And we convinced Rainn Wilson to be a part of it, and that was fun. And hope you enjoy that one.
I can't remember exactly what we titled it, but we visited one-star hotels on the Rhett Link YouTube channel.
You won't know by looking at the title and the thumbnail that it's about spiritual stuff. That's what Wonderhole's all about.
And our experience as friends.
Yes.
Going through that.
Yes.
Every Sunday on the Rhett Link channel, it's Wonderhole Sunday afternoon. Of course, Mythical Society members get to see it early and ad-free on Wednesdays.
Yeah, they
preceding
do.
Wednesday. So
yeah, they do.
We're reading all those comments over there as well as on YouTube. Let us know if you're liking this stuff. Be sure to share it, because we're going against the grain on YouTube with these episodes. Mm-hmm. Let's hear your voice.
I'm sorry. I'm listening to a podcast from you guys right now, and you just skimmed over. Rhett was waiting for Link at a gay bar. He didn't show up because he got in a fight with some Muppets. I'm sorry. You got to wrap back around to that one and tell that story, please, and thank you.
Great question.
This is one of those stories that we never told.
I think we've hinted at it.
And then somewhere
we've told pieces of it.
Maybe we've just told it to people. Maybe it's never been.
I don't think we've told the full story.
Why didn't we tell the story? Because you don't want to offend Sesame Street. You don't want to get pulled over on Sesame Street.
I didn't offend Sesame Street, so let the record show.
Let me rephrase that. You don't want to publicly offend Sesame Street.
And I don't think you're going to.
After privately offending some residents of Sesame Street. But okay, whatever. I'll
So I can give the context of the story, and then you can begin telling it when it becomes what you were experiencing. But this is when we were on tour for the Good Mythical tour last year. We were in Atlanta. We had a break in the middle of our tour for like 4 days where me, along with the rest of the Mythical crew, stayed in Atlanta. Link went back because Lando was graduating from 8th grade.
College.
Or whatever he graduated from.
8th grade.
And you were coming back that night, and your flight was getting in, and we didn't know exactly when you were going to be there, but we had made the decision to go sing karaoke at a bar. Yes, a gay bar. And I've had a couple of experiences at gay bars, but what I learned is that gay bars are like the most accepting places in the world, and they welcome everyone. You don't have to be gay to go. And karaoke tends to be a place where you want to perform in an accepting and inclusive environment. And so I think they go well together.
But in flip-flops, with your toes out?
It was hot in Atlanta.
Jenna, you were there, right?
It was hot in Atlanta, and I was like, you know what? I'm putting my flip-flops on with jeans like I used to. Me and Bradley Cooper, apparently it's a thing. And I am going to go to this gay bar, and yes, I am going to perform Lady in Red, even though maybe no one there is interested in Ladies in Red. And I'm going to sing this song. And yes, did I kill it? Yes, I did. But we knew that we wanted you to join us when you were getting in. In fact, they went ahead and put a song in for you so you would be in the mix. And that song was Man, I Feel Like a Woman by Shania Twain. Everyone was so excited. Link is gonna show up at this
Link
place.
is gonna show up
and he's
and
gonna
the timing is
sing
gonna be
Man, I
perfect.
Feel Like a Woman at this gay bar, and it's gonna be great. And that's when you texted me, I texted you and I was like, hey, we're waiting for you. And you were like, I'm on my way. I'm on my way.
We were in touch. I don't text on a plane. I don't fly private.
Text on a plane.
And even if you can text on a plane now. Depending.
If it's got Wi-Fi.
Then depending if they give you the Wi-Fi. But I don't do that. So even if it wasn't available, when I landed in Atlanta, I got my bags and I was getting in the Uber and all that jazz and then taking the drive back to the hotel. All along the way, well, right when I landed, I was getting texts that this is what we're doing. You're gonna meet up with us. I'm like, yeah, I'll meet up with you. Sounds good. And then like, I was getting updates from different people. We're leaving dinner wherever you were, and now we're going to the bar. Well, you didn't go to this bar. Now we're at this bar, and we're doing karaoke. So I'm getting all this information, and I'm getting antsy. I'm like, man, FOMO out the wazoo.
Yeah, we had a great meal.
Great meal that night. I was really feeling.
Was that when the place called the Gun
like
Show?
I was missing out.
Yeah. And then we saw Emily's show that night.
Oh, we went and saw Emily do stand-up comedy?
Yes.
It was so fun.
And I was hearing about all of this, either catching up or then kind of in real time. It's like, now meet us here. Well, now I was like, well, I just landed. I got to go back to the hotel first, and I'm going to get a change of clothes. And they're like, well, now meet us here. Now meet us here. And I'm like, oh, damn, I'm missing everything. And so I'm antsy, and I'm getting up to the room, and I'm walking down the hallway with my bag and stuff, and I'm going to go and I'm like, well, I feel like I need a shower, you know? And I'm thinking all this stuff. And then I hear laughter and commotion coming from the hallway, coming from a room. And as I pass, my room's like 2 doors down to the left.
You hadn't even showered yet. You were thinking about showering.
I was thinking all this.
You're thinking too much.
And I heard you laughing. And I'm like, I stopped. I literally stopped cold in the hallway, just like, and I just immediately was mad. I was like, this, water has been lying to me. They're in there, yucking it up, having a good old time. And they're trying to send me on a wild goose chase out to some gay bar. Oh, we'll send him to a gay bar and he'll show up and we won't be there. And so I go up to the door and I knock, not softly. And then I'm like, okay, don't be mad. Just play it cool. It's be a good sport. So then I'm like, housekeeping.
Yeah, there you go. Good sport.
And then and of course it's night. Housekeepers don't, it's like, y'all know it's me at this point.
It was probably 11 p.m., just to give you a context of what time it was.
Yeah, that ain't early. For a housekeeper to start knocking, that ain't early. And when I knocked on the door, it opened a little bit. And the laughter and the commotion just went totally quiet. I mean, you could hear a hotel shampoo bottle drop. So I knock on the door again. Dup, even though there's a crack in it now. And I'm like, double down, housekeeping.
Oh,
and then
you doubled down.
And then there's like some sort of like negotiant type, like whispering happening. And I'm like thinking, yeah, y'all failed. I figured it out. And I'm like, and so then I'm feeling good about myself and I'm grinning from ear to ear. And the door opens and there's a woman like 7 inches from my face, just standing there. And I have never met her before. And I'm like, well, how does Rhett know her? Who is this?
You still not questioning yourself. Still not questioning yourself.
And she looks at me with this shock on her face. She's like, at first it was like, this is not a housekeeper, and who is this guy? And then it was a second level of shock, and she's like, Link. She recognized me, and I'm like, and then I look over her shoulder and I see people in there, quiet people now, and I'm like, is Rhett in there? She's like, no. And then she's like, guys, it's Link from Mythical Corner. They're like, what? I was like, it's it. And then I hear her saying like, it's the internet. I'm a big fan. It's a show. You never heard of it?
No one knows she's having to explain it.
I'm like, oh man, it seems as if I was a bit wrong. And then she turns back around and she's like, come in. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, well, I was like, what y'all doing in here? I saw that there was some drinks. They had drinks.
Did you explain your side of the story to them?
She said, come in, and I said, well, let me go put my bag down. So I go into my room, I put my bag down, and then I come back, and I'm like, okay, this is a party. She knows me.
Meanwhile, multiple texts are coming from your friends. Well, your work friends.
Well, I kind of felt like y'all were lying to me, so I wasn't really, and you weren't.
I know that I have pranked you on the show, but I don't.
Hold on, listen,
prank
man.
people just for the hell of it.
Well,
I'll prank you to see it happen on camera.
I knew that you hadn't pranked me, but I still felt like you had. You know how when you're dreaming and then you wake up from the dream and you're like, oh, it's just a dream. And then you go about your morning and you have this you feel the experience of the dream or nightmare.
So you were mad at us because you thought that we were pranking you.
Yeah, I still had the emotion within me of frustration. So I was in no hurry to get to your thing that I didn't think you were at. And I'm like, here's an adventure. I'm going in here and I've got a friendly face.
Yeah, that's all it takes.
So I go in and it's 3 other guys. And there was a bigger guy whose laugh sounded like yours.
Okay. It wasn't me.
And they give me a beverage. And I find out that this is not really they're sitting around, they're like, what are y'all doing? And they're like, well, we had our first show today, and they pointed to the big man and said, he's giving us feedback on our show. We're the stage show for Sesame Street. And he has come down here as a consultant to give us feedback on our characterizations of the characters that everybody knows and loves, Grover, Elmo.
So this is like Sesame Street on stage that you can go and see.
Yeah. And turns out Big Man was Elmo's dad. And I was like, oh, I didn't know Elmo had a dad. And I think that might have deflated him a little bit.
That's what he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard of your character, never seen it.
And then he
really hasn't registered with me.
And then he's like, I was like, he was like, well, they did a great job, but we were just having a discussion about children's entertainment and puppetry and how that has an impact on each of our lives. And I'm like, what? Is this like a support group?
Oh boy.
So I'm like, so I'm sitting down having my beverage and they're like,
who they are dealing with.
they're like, so what about you? And I'm like, well, I'm more of a Mr. Rogers man. I don't, and he did have puppets, but they were kind of, I don't know if the hands went up the ass of those puppets. And so it's like, I'm just kind of freewheeling it.
Yeah, it sounds that way.
And the best way that I can describe it is over the course of my interaction with them, my relationship with the big man was
Deteriorating? Yeah, I don't think it ever was very robust.
Because, I mean, I was trying to engage with them about the different characters, and so I'm asking what to me are like genuinely curious questions. I'm like, they're trying to plumb the depths of children's entertainment. I can do that. So I'm like, when two puppets have sex, is that why there's different color Muppets on Sesame Street? Because of the interbreeding of the characters? And I mean, I just, it's like, yeah, it's an honest question.
Yeah.
And since I have audience with, like, he's flown in here to, like, he knows his stuff and he knows what's canon and what isn't. I'm like, well, how are the Muppets made? And they're colorful, And I wasn't I was like, I don't think I was trying to play the race card. I was trying to just play the sexy card, and sex card.
Okay.
I guess I was trying to get sexy with Sesame Street. But I think we had already had our interaction with Cookie Monster on the show, which I did tell them.
Mm.
And what we discovered with the people with their hands all up in his ass is that they are super cool people who they had an edge. Don't you remember? The Cookie Monster people, the professional puppeteers, they had an edge.
Well,
their comedy and their sense of humor in interpersonal interactions with us on set was edgy. Well, and I remember noting that. So I think,
because they were talking to adults. They weren't talking to children when they were interacting.
Exactly.
With us. Yeah.
So I think that's what was in the back of my mind. So when I was talking to them, I accessed that. And so at first I was like, y'all come with me to karaoke. And then by the end, it was like, I'll get out of your hair. That's how the energy shifted over the course of 45 minutes of me hanging out with them.
Right.
And
by the way, that 45 minutes was the window of time in which we had all decided to leave and go home. And go
because I'm like, all right, guys, I'm coming right now. And they're like, don't come. We're leaving. I'm like, what?
You ain't even left. You had just gotten into the Uber, but back up for a second. So, how do you feel about this now?
Well, I'll just caution anyone who pre-games on a plane. I'm not blaming it on that, but I was a little loose.
Okay.
Around the edges.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. That helps explain some things. But do you think that we have, are we ever going to work with Sesame Street again? Because let me just say, the other thing that you did was when we had the opportunity to work with Elmo one time and he didn't show up because he had something else going on, you really pitched a fit about that.
Well,
and then we went and made a video at South by where the only thing we talked about was how upset you were at Elmo. And I recently saw a clip of that come out somewhere, but I don't think it was completely unrelated to the 90% of the content, which was you being upset with Elmo. They didn't put any of that out. They just put another question that we answered from that interview time. So I just feel like you've burned our Sesame Street bridge.
how on earth are we gonna get there? We gonna arrive at Sesame Street wet and cold because we have forded the river. Yeah, I think is that how you get to Sesame Street? Can you tell me?
I don't know how you get there, but we can sing a song about it.
Yeah, I think maybe I have, Rhett. I think I've burned our bridge. Especially now that you got me to talk about it. They were taking their craft very serious. I just felt like it was a bit self-serious. But it wasn't any of my business, and I intruded. I literally intruded and then commandeered.
Hold on, self-serious. They literally had just done the first night of their show, and the guy who is like in charge of giving them pointers is like in their hotel room together. Like, that's like us doing our show and then getting together to talk about it and then somebody shows up and we're talking about what we just did and then calling that self-serious. I think it's just that was the That was the focus of of the night for them.
You're right. And you know what, Elmo's dad? I'm sorry. It was cool to meet you, and I misinterpreted the vibes. And I injected a different vibe. And you shouldn't have had to try to match that, which I think you knew. And I eventually found I could pick up on the fact you did. I mean, it's not like he kicked me in the butt and said, "Get out of here." But we may have lost a fan at I don't know, don't remember.
Yeah, the woman who was
I don't know. I wrote down
the question around the woman who recognized you and then invited you into the group. Like, I feel like
it's her fault.
No, she's the one that you should be apologizing to, because now she will forever be known in that group as the person who invited you in, and is also a fan of you. And now and all they know about you is what happened in that hotel room that night.
Does she even still work there?
Right? Yeah. We don't know. We don't know.
Yep. Well, there's your answer. There's your answer.
We want to talk to you about this new shaving company called House of Atlas. They gifted us a couple of these razors, and I think they're really on to something here.
Yeah, not only does it look insanely sleek in the bathroom,
Very
which I like,
sophisticated,
but it also gives an incredibly close shave. You know we love our grooming products, and House of Atlas really makes some one-of-a-kind stuff.
They got a full lineup, the razor, shave cream, and aftershave, and it will completely elevate your routine. Now, listen, you may say, what you talking about shaving stuff for, boy?
You got a beard.
You got a beard. Well, there's parts of my beard that I shave. I shave my neck and I shave the cheeks too, like to cut that in, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's important. It's very important. It's actually very sensitive down there. You gotta have the right razor for that.
That's where I do most of my shaving too, actually, because I like to keep a little Brillo.
Right.
A little shade, a little shadow going there. The stainless steel blades are spaced apart, which is a key to them not clogging. And that means fewer stops to rinse and a smoother shave overall. It's got a solid weight to it too. And it feels premium in the hand.
The shave cream has a thick formula that helps you see where you're shaving, leaves the skin ridiculously soft. And their calming aftershave cools without the old school burn. And you know what? It smells great.
And if you want to pick one up in person, House of Atlas is now available at Target stores nationwide.
Now for a limited time, they're offering 20% off site-wide plus free shipping at houseofatlas.com. Now make sure you use code EARBISCUITS at checkout.
That's HOUSEOFATLAS.com with promo code EARBISCUITS for 20% off everything. Plus, as I said, House of Atlas is now available at Target stores nationwide.
Stop wasting money and time on shaving products that don't look good, aren't effective, and cost way too much. Visit houseofatlas.com today. Trust me, you'll love it as much as we did.
If the search for a therapist is stressing you out, you're not alone. It shouldn't feel like a second job. What if getting started could actually feel a bit easier? Well, it is with Grow Therapy.
They make it simpler to take that first step toward feeling better. Therapy is such a powerful tool for working through life's challenges, but so many people get stuck at the first hurdle, which is finding the right person.
Growth Therapy connects you with thousands of licensed independent therapists across the US with both in-person and virtual options. You can search by insurance, provider specialty, treatment methods, and more, so you can find the therapist who fits your needs. And if it's not the right match, switching is easy.
There are no subscriptions or long-term commitments. You just pay per session. Plus, you can find therapy on your time, evenings, weekends, virtual or in person, with direct calendar booking and flexible cancellations.
Whatever challenges you're facing, Grow Therapy is here to help. Sessions average about $21 with insurance, and some pay as little as $0 depending on their plan.
Visit growtherapy.com/ear today to get started. That's growtherapy.com/ear.
growtherapy.com/ear. Availability and coverage vary by state and insurance plan. Lady in red.
Yo, Rhett Link, this is Colton, and I am blind. I've been watching you for years, and I don't actually know what you guys look like, but I have an idea. Link, you just look like the most dad bod guy on the planet with like your jeans, your flannel t-shirt, your super bulky, nerdy, square eyeglasses. But then for some reason, I feel like you have your hair super slicked back because you think it makes you look cool. Then Rhett, you're just like a slightly less hairy Chewbacca. You know.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh that hard. My bad.
Slightly less hairy Chewbacca.
Okay, so you're right about
We
me.
nailed that, man. I'm a what? First of all, dad bod. Well, kinda.
Well, no, you
not
don't.
not in the classic dad bod.
You don't have a dad
sense.
bod.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
What-
feel
what-
like you
and
could
what else
ask.
is
Like
there?
I feel like you could, and this is interesting, because you could probably just type in Google like, what does Link look like?
Let's do that, or just do if you want to do the AI version of that. But let me step through what he said. He said my pants were what?
Jeans.
My jeans were big,
Just said like dad bod in your jeans,
and my jeans with a
flannel shirt,
flannel shirt, and then
boxy glasses.
boxy glasses, and my hair slicked back.
Yes.
Boxy glasses and my hair slicked back. Maybe this is the next version of me. I don't know. Wonder why you would think that, all of that. Context clues. I mean, because he figured out that Rhett looked like a Chewbacca. Maybe there's context clues. We do talk about our hair, but we haven't described ourselves.
Yeah, I feel like with the slicked back hair, it's interesting because you guys talk about how your hair goes up.
Right.
Slicked back
Yeah, you would think
infers downish. But maybe like
Well,
he's
it's
thinking like
backish.
Italian slicked back.
backish. Yeah, this way.
Yes.
Like
it doesn't describe,
that.
and it just gives height and stuff like that. So
It doesn't give like an interesting.
the hair goes like this and all that.
Well, you know what? Stick with that for Rhett. For me, I would like for you to start picturing me as more of a, you know what? I'm good with it too.
Oh, you don't want to change it?
I'm good with it.
Because you picture somebody when you hear a voice and you've never seen them.
Right. Or if you're like reading a book with characters and then you see the movie and you're like, oh, that's who they cast to do that? Huh.
Right.
Of course, I don't read enough books to get disappointed and stuff like that.
Slick
but
back hair. It's a choice.
I didn't know that Timothy Chalamet was like who I pictured for Il Gizalamin or whatever his name is. I can't say that. From Dune. But I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I think it was less. This is what they pictured him more like. Can we get Timothy Chalamet to play this role?
Yeah.
Maybe
should we tell him how we picture him looking? Because we haven't seen him either. I picture you,
Okay, yeah.
blind fan whose name is
Colton.
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 I picture you as you're wearing a cream colored tank top, jorts, right at the knee, socks, half calf, some sort of sandal. You got one of them dope ass blind man sticks in your hand, and sunglasses that are mirrored aviators. Fedora? Of course not.
Yeah, that would kind of throw that look off if you had a fedora. Incidentally, I am picturing.
I think beanie.
I am picturing a guy
green beanie
in a trench coat, based on the way that he was kind of down. He was like, "Come into this alley, and let me tell you what I think you look like."
You're doing him dirty, man.
I'm just saying.
He has a gravelly voice.
It's a gravelly voice, you know. Like I think.
Yep.
So I was picturing a fedora, a trench coat and a fedora. I was picturing Carmen Sandiego, the male version of Carmen Sandiego.
Well, you're talking about Blind Inspector Gadget.
Maybe a little Inspector Gadget.
There you go.
Thanks for your question, your comment, Colton.
If you are blind and you've been picturing us, call us, please. I want to hear more of this, and I want to know if it's consistent. Like, we need to get some more data points here from our blind listeners. 1-888-EARPOD1. Thank you for sharing that.
Hey, what's up, Rhett, Link, Jenna, crew? This is Max from Houston, Texas. I'm listening to y'all's 2 birthday party ear biscuit, and I was just thinking about all the times y'all bring up friend groups. You think of Mike. In y'all's opinion, what makes a good friend group? What are the do's? What are the don'ts? What type of personalities do you want? What type of egos? I hear about Mike. I always think, is that Science Mike? Any clarity on that would be much appreciated. Thanks, y'all.
You trying to get personal info about our friend group?
But no, we're not hiding that. We've made it clear. Yeah, the Mike is Science Mike.
Yeah.
Who doesn't really, he's Mike McCarrick. That's who he is. I mean, he was Science Mike. He's not really doing the Science Mike thing anymore.
Yeah. He's thriving behind the scenes.
Yeah. And okay, so this is a good question because I do think that you don't want too much uniformity in a friend group.
Yeah.
If you want it to be interesting. Now, if you want it to be a long-term thing, I think you're basically talking about a pretty low drama group of people where no one is too,
I would say,
too mean or too sensitive.
Or too controlling.
Yeah, right, yeah. But they can make it interesting, but probably not a long-term thing. So if you're looking for a good, solid friend group.
You want a group that can get together in their pajamas. You want a group that you can get together, spur at a moment, and no one needs to change whatever they looked like. It's like, hey, y'all want to come over? And then you just come over. It's like, you don't have to change anything unless you're naked. Because you do need one person in your friend group to constantly insist that it's not going to become a naked party. And we do have that. We do have one person in our group who is afraid that somehow that's going to happen. And I'm not going to name any names. It ain't going to happen. No. But we don't want a naked party. It's like, no. So as long as you're wearing clothes.
It does happen in this town, though.
It happens in this town.
Right.
But it's not going to happen on our watch.
No.
I mean, this friend group is a couples friend group. So you've got, you got that variety happening.
I think that
it's really. I mean, diversity. We love diversity across the board. I say that's really good for a friend group.
I think a group,
gender orientation,
in
you
which
name it.
It doesn't become
crunchy or smooth peanut butter.
Okay, we hear you.
You get it.
I think what you don't want. Okay, so my experience being from the South and also being from the church, is that there tends to be, it's men and women. It's like every group just ends up becoming like the guys are going to go talk to each other and the
Separately.
women. And it's just like, and there's a lot of things about the way that the kinds of churches that we come from and we came up through, that everything was geared to make sure that there's things for women and there's things for men, including men, the leadership roles.
Right.
Not something that we are proud to have been a part of. But I think that one of the cool things about our current friend group is that the conversational lines are not split. They're not gender split.
Yeah.
In the way that those old groups were, where it would be like, because again, in those like in the church situation, it was like if somebody was having a one-on-one conversation with someone, like a guy from one couple was having a conversation with another woman, it would be like, what's going on there? Everything was so like hyper. Everything became so scandalized in a way that it never should have been because of this weird view of things. I don't know. But I enjoy that about our group because I'll just be catching up with somebody in the group, and it's not just another one of the husbands, or we are all of a sudden we're in different groups and we've divided up and we're having conversations that this conversation is for men, this conversation is for women. Mm-hmm. So I think that is that's a plus, because what happens when you've got those like bifurcated groups is that you better make sure that all the guys get along and all the girls also get along and they're all good friends and they're all good friends. And now you've got two dynamics happening at the same time versus like a bigger group dynamic.
Yeah.
Where it's not just about how well because the other thing that happens, it's like sometimes, all the husbands are really good friends and the wives tolerate each other, or vice versa.
Yeah.
That's what ends up happening in those really gender-specific groups.
I mean, it just happens practically anyway, a lot of times. I don't think it's necessarily a church thing. So I'm grateful for the friend group we have. I mean, there's like, you've got the three of us couples, and then you start to, there's more people added, depending on the event, or
right.
Like the invite list can swell a little bit. So there's like, I think that's nice. Jenna, do you have a friend group or do you just have friends?
I'd say mostly just friends. Yeah. It's
Okay.
not so much a group. I have like groups of, like, I have separate like group thread conversations.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'd say it would be a multiple friend group situation.
And do you get together with that text group? Do you make plans to get together?
Yeah.
So then and we're talking like 4 people or more.
Yes.
Okay, so you do that.
Mm-hmm.
What's necessary for you?
In my friend group?
Yeah, what makes a good friend group? I said pajamas.
Mine are kind of split up in interests and things we like doing together.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a friend group we all met at Universal, and we've just become the Universal friend group. But like, I see them as a group, not just Universal. Like, I've been invited to 2 separate weddings from that group, and another friend group is like from back when I was in acting class, and that's like a group of 4 other girls, and we check in and get together a few times a year for like brunch and catch up on our lives. So yeah, I think it's fun chit chat.
There's a couple of practical things. Somebody who can make drinks.
Right.
Multiple people who can cook or know how to put together a good charcuterie. We got charcuterie out the wazoo in our group.
Out the cooter.
We will have a charcuterie that is just over the top incredible. Now, it might have chicken nuggets in the middle of it, but it's got a lot of stuff on it.
Uh-huh.
Somebody who you don't necessarily have to have a DJ. We have a DJ in our group. His name is DJ Elcount Snuggle Baby.
That's right.
But somebody who's good at selecting music for a party, I think, you have to have somebody to do that, I think. And I mean, in my estimation, you have to have people who are, if they're not doing interesting things, they are thinking about interesting things. Because that's what I like to do, is I like to talk about interesting things. And so, I don't mean like just talking about, because a lot of times they're just talk about people, like talk about talking about other people, it's just like, it gets old. And then talking about the exact same things that everybody else is talking about, like complaining about what's going on politically or whatever. It's like, you need your friends to be able to commiserate, about those kinds of things. But I think we have enough people who are like, I'm doing this interesting thing and now I'm giving you this update on it. And it's like, well, okay, tell me more about that. Or I just finished this book, let me tell you about that. I think that that's a big part of it.
But maybe generally conversationalist.
Yeah, they're conversationalists.
I'll add something.
They want to talk.
I think you need a planner. You need somebody who's going to rally everybody to get together. I think about our college buddies group, and Harm is like, "Hey, we got to get onto this. We got to get on this planning.
Yep.
We got to book this. We got to get these reservations." It's like, let's put pen to paper. Let's put plans to spreadsheets or whatever, that type of stuff. It's like the organizer.
Yep.
I think is very important. Maybe somebody with first aid knowledge if something goes wrong.
Somebody who knows CPR.
Yep.
Somebody who's got one of those things that can suck something that's in your throat right out of it.
Oh, yeah.
Not suck pus.
Someone who knows the Heimlich.
Somebody who can suck pus.
All right. You don't need someone in your group who is obsessed with popping zits on other people's bodies.
No.
Like,
that's not what I was going for.
I don't know. Maybe I'm married to one of those people, but that's not a requirement for a friend group. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that. I think it's good to have a tall person.
I'm a tall guy.
It's nice to have you up there.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it's cool to have a car person.
And you kind of know.
Hey, can I ride around in your car?
Multiple cars would be nice. One of the things that
I got one. I'm sorry. I just can't.
All right.
It's good to have a person with a vacation home. Right.
Okay. What?
Yeah. Hey, I got a nice vacation home, and if you bother me enough about it, I will be guilted into inviting you at least once a year.
That's a hard thing to come by.
We don't have that.
That's a hard thing to come by.
I mean, I got a friend with a cabin. Have I stayed in it? No.
Well, it's on the other side of the country.
It's on the other side of the country.
Well, what I was going to say was not vacation home. That feels like a bit of a steep requirement. But multiple, like you can go to multiple people's places in your group and you kind of know the type of thing that's going to happen there, right? Mm. So for instance, me and Jesse, like the thing that you're gonna get at our house is, first of all, you're gonna get a lot of food. You're gonna get too much food. You're going to go home with food because there's something wrong with us where, like, I don't know, like if we don't have twice as much food as people are gonna eat, then we feel like we failed.
So you're the doggy bag house.
The doggy bag, like we will make so much damn food, and I don't know why we keep overestimating, but we will give you a lot to eat. But we will also probably have an activity. Mm-hmm. A lot of times a party game. Like we tend to be the game. Like I don't think we play games at anybody else's house. Like Jesse and I are the game house.
Right.
So, which also I like as well. But you don't want to do that every time because some people don't like games. Some people are like, I don't want to be put on the spot. I'm not competitive or whatever. But I think pretty much everybody in our group is happy to participate because it's a really easy, group. No one's.
It's a no judgment zone.
Right.
You gonna step through the rest of the people in the group? and
Well,
what they
I
do?
think you want it'd be nice. It's nice if somebody's got like a good place to watch a movie. I think that kind of applies to multiple people.
Yeah. Yeah, you need a good
Somebody's got to have a
viewing
big TV.
experience.
Somebody's got to have a big TV.
Yeah. And I'll make more of the party destination.
Right.
I'm trying to think of any other friend groups.
Because
I
if
think we're good. I think we've covered
if you start taking those things away, like again, back to answer the question, this is the service that we're trying to do. Like, if nobody in your group's got any idea how to put food out for people, like if it's just like,
Right.
if everybody's drawing a blank,
Yeah.
somebody's got to figure the food out, somebody's got to figure the music out, and somebody's got to figure out the entertainment. And you got to, and like they got to be into figuring that stuff out.
I think
and then you got to plan to get together.
I'm gonna add lighting to that.
Lighting is important.
You gotta understand. Someone needs to understand lighting.
Yeah, it tends to be too bright in a lot of places.
Yeah. You wanna hang out, and you want it to be. You don't want the big light on.
This is a general thing. I think everybody's house, don't be mixing the temperatures of different bulbs.
Listen. We've been down this path. Everybody's fixed it for us.
You think so?
Yes.
I don't know, man. I go to a lot of people's houses and they
Don't get on your soapbox about. I
they
planted
got
this one for you.
You got daylight bulbs up on the ceiling, and they got
Yeah.
warm lights. Else, go all warm, and every light fixture in your entire house.
Even the
You
bathroom.
want daylight? Go outside.
during the day.
Yeah. Come on now. Get with
Next
it.
one.
Hi, Rhett Link and Mythical crew. My name's Chrissy McDonald, and I hear you have something going on about guessing where somebody's accent is from. So I'd like to give you a couple minutes and see if you can guess where mine is from.
Oh.
Well, that
Okay.
wasn't a couple of minutes.
So she needs to.
You need to keep talking.
Can you do it again? Can you play it again?
I'd like.
Hi, Rhett Link and Mythical crew. My name's Chrissy McDonald, and I hear you have something going on about guessing where somebody's accent is from. So I'd like to give you a couple minutes and see if you can guess where mine is from.
Okay.
About.
So she's
So
got
this
to
is
got to be
Canadian.
Canada. So that's too easy. What is the Canada that is right above Minnesota? So like if you're in Minnesota and you cross the border, what province are you in? Can somebody look that up on a map for me?
Montreal?
No, that's further north, I think. Montreal's a city.
Right above,
It's in Quebec, bro.
right, it's like Minnesota is right in between Manitoba and Ontario.
She's from
Manitoba.
She's from Manitoba. What's the city in Manitoba that I would know about?
Do you think she could just be?
Winnipeg?
She's from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada.
That's not too far from the border, I don't think either.
That's my guess.
I was gonna guess North Dakota, which is right on that area. So
North
I feel like she
Dakota.
might be American.
Yeah,
Just
well,
close
she
to the
said
border.
a boat
Yeah.
really quickly,
Uh-huh.
but I guess it can bleed over
Does
up
it
there.
bleed over?
I guess it bleeds over because it could be. I was gonna say Minnesota's what, but it wasn't strong Minnesota.
Uh-huh.
She better not say Alabama.
Okay, let's
Okay.
find out.
Manitoba.
I'm actually from Prince Edward Island, Canada.
Yeah,
Hope
okay.
you have a good day. Bye for now.
So where is that?
Is that East Coast?
Prince Edward Island.
I believe so.
Is that like?
Yeah, you got that about.
Oh, yes, that is right above Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
Well, that's north. North.
Okay.
So she's northeast.
Yeah, she's closest to Maine.
So that is Nova Scotia.
Yes.
Man.
We weren't too far off, though. I mean, but
well,
You got Canada.
we were.
the provinces are so big, though.
We were pretty. That's like saying somebody's from.
No, it's not. It's not like saying like, well, she's from Wisconsin and Maine is the same. It's different. Once you cross that border,
There's less
everything gets
people.
bigger. What if the people got as big as their provinces to our states? Those would be some giant Canadians.
Yeah, I don't think that's how it works in Canada, actually. I think it might be the opposite.
That'd be wild, dude. Giant, nice people. I like to ring it at.
But we got the right country.
We got the right country.
I would say I think she would appreciate the distance. It's not too far off, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I bet you she ain't complaining about it. You know, it's just not in the blood.
She lives on an island. That sounds cool.
Yeah, until you need to get something that's not on the island.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty big island. Never been.
Well, okay.
Maybe she has a vacation home. But you need a friend with a vacation home.
Yeah, I bet she doesn't have the new Nintendo Switch.
No.
You know, have they made it to Prince Edward Island?
Oh, it's a big island.
It's so big. I take it back.
It's
Y'all
like
got-
a state
You got the
size.
Switch.
It's like a state size island.
They've tossed him over to your island. All right, let's hear another.
Hey, Rhett Link, big fan. Your podcast has helped me a lot and helped me think more deeply about the world, so thank you guys for that. I got a kind of philosophical question that I've been wrestling with, and I'd love to hear your guys' take. When it comes to someone's actions, what do you guys think is more important, intent or impact? Like if someone means well but causes harm, or means harm but ends up doing good in somehow, how do you weigh those things? And I know there's like a lot of nuance there and to that question. I just was wondering what you guys personally think. I know it plays into German versus Western philosophy and a lot of different other things, but just kind of wanted to hear what your guys' thoughts on that. And so, thank you.
Well, thanks for tipping me off to the German versus Western philosophy. I mean, it's like, I can't say that I was thinking that until you brought it up. But now, yeah, I definitely think, there's merits to both ways of thinking about this in German or as a cowboy. And,
Yep, that's right. Uh-huh.
So,
Yep.
I'm really going to state that.
That's
I'm
a
on the
cowboy.
record.
That's funny. Intent
Versus impact. The thing that resonates with me is, I mean, first of all, like, bless your heart. It's like what's in there does matter. You know, your intent, both matter. But I think I relate to somebody is well-intentioned.
Yeah, when you went into that hotel room, you were
Yeah.
so well-intentioned.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to see my friends.
You were mad at us, though.
You were mad.
You were mad at us.
Yeah.
You were going in with a gotcha.
I was well-intentioned to bust y'all. And I took that energy into complete strangers quorum, and I busted it open in there. So that's not a good example, but there are lots of times when some things might go sideways, but I didn't mean well. He means well. He means well. I hear people saying that sometimes when I'm done with something. And so I'm sympathetic.
To me, it really the reason it's so complex is because the intent is a reflection on the intender, right? The person who caused whatever harm. And the impact is a measure of how that action affected the person who was harmed. Mm-hmm. And so that's why we have manslaughter charges, for example. So it's like, okay, well, I didn't mean...
Yeah, that's a good point.
I didn't mean to...
Kill you.
Run you over when you were in my driveway or whatever happens. But you're dead now, and the loss to that family is the exact same. The damage, or if I accidentally break your arm, if I break your arm on purpose or accidentally break your arm, your experience is exactly the same, right? And so the way we recognize that in the law is usually there is recompense. You want this person to be paid back and you want there to be restitution for what happened to them. But the punishment for that is different if you meant to do it. So I think that the law reflects the complexity here. But this is probably more a question around, I don't know. I think that we come from a slightly different, we're older than most of the people who listen. We have a lot of people our age as well, but like there is a generational thing here where I think we come from a generation where we like to say, well, he meant well. Like, he didn't mean to say, like, he came into this situation, he came into this conversation, and he said this word. And this word is a no-no word that you don't say, whatever that word might be. But he didn't know. He didn't know because he's ignorant, he hasn't been educated or whatever.
Yeah.
And then people are like, well, it's had the same impact as if he did mean it. And so, and I think that both of those things are real, but I think an older generation likes to talk a little bit more about intent. And my observation is that the younger generation tends to be more interested in impact, almost to the degree where intention doesn't matter. And what will end up happening is somebody who accidentally says something out of ignorance and someone who says something motivated by hate, those people are put into the exact same box. And they're kind of, there's a very broad brush that they are painted with. And I think that, my opinion is that does a real disservice to actually just the way humans work and the fact that what do you actually want? You want people to change. So you want somebody who
Right.
says something inappropriate or based in lack of understanding or ignorance. You want them to understand what they said that was wrong so they can actually change if they do intend to change and they don't mean to hurt people. But if it's just simply like, well, you said that, I'm writing you off, you're just like the person who says this all the time. I don't think that's an effective way to bring about change. I think that's the way this conversation happens a lot of times, just practically like in our world. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So this gray area, there's not going to be one answer or another. We know that. I don't know what if there's two schools of thought, it just doesn't seem like that's where you should land, somewhere in the middle, or depending on the severity of the result. It's like if somebody kills somebody completely accidentally, it's not just a civil payment. Sometimes they have to go to prison, right?
Oh yeah.
Because and I guess I'm really just guessing here, having not thought about this, and I'm not a lawyer, but in terms of like setting up a society where you need to have awareness of things, so you just can't, well, one, just be rich enough to pay off for the mistakes you make, and then you have no accountability. Like you have to take responsibility for the mistakes that you make, and hopefully in a way that you learn from it and change. And I guess if you're sending somebody to prison, you're not sending them there forever. You're sending there for a less amount that tells society that, like, hey, you just can't throw money at accidentally killing somebody.
Right.
You got to start taking a higher awareness as a society that how an action might kill somebody. Now, if it's a complete freak accident, I'm hoping that you're not going to prison for that.
I think it's usually, is there a carelessness involved?
Yeah. Carelessness, then gross negligence. And so there's been, I do think it's a helpful analogy that these, in terms of our laws, I'm not saying it's airtight, but it indicates for people who've thought about this a lot more, the practical impacts of it in order to create a place where we can all live and work together and not just willy-nilly accidentally kill each other. Then you, to a certain degree, the result matters more than the intent. If it was just, well, he didn't mean to do it, and nobody ever went to prison, then I think that things start to break down societally. Is what I'm arriving at. So I think I'm now leaning a little bit, and I'm only thinking about killing somebody by accident, but I'm leaning a little bit
Please don't.
more towards the results, actually. The impact over the intent.
Well,
I think it's, you look at the impact first, and how severe is that impact? Did they lose their life? Did they lose their hat? Okay, now let's move on to, did they intend to kill them, or did they intend intend to just polish their hat. I don't know, you know? So that's where I'm at. I'm on a 65% bias to impact. That's my answer.
Yeah, I don't know which one matters more, but I think that your personality can tend to identify with one side or the other, and it's probably better to challenge yourself to look at the opposite side of what your natural tendency is.
But what do you think about this idea of looking at impact first? If you are making a judgment, and he's asking us to make a judgment.
Well, I think that's clearly how it's done, because if it's like, in one situation, the result was someone died. And there were two scenarios there. One was intentional and one was unintentional. And then the other scenario was someone had their glasses broken. Well, clearly, the impact, even if I really, really, really wanted to break your glasses, and then I did it, or I didn't mean to kill you, but I did, which one of those things, the impact...
What if I did mean to kill you, but I only broke your glasses? Well, then the intent matters more than the impact, and you should be punished according to your intent.
The degree of what you were intending to do, or the degree of what the impact was. So to me, it's on both sides. This is probably where, if we actually understood what he was talking about with German and Western philosophy, it would be like we're like dancing around things, obviously things that people have talked about and figured out more than we have, just thinking about it for the first time.
But it's healthy to read right.
But I think that it is rooted in the amplitude, the severity of the intent and the severity of the impact. But that's related to what you were intending to do, as it would result in an impact. Like if I attempted murder, but all I did was break your glasses, well, the charge for attempted murder is significantly higher than the charge for involuntary manslaughter.
Or glasses breaking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Leave it to the lawyers. I'm feeling good about it.
It says here that German philosophy is typically distinguished by its tradition, like emphasis on idealism and subjectivity and historical analysis, where Western is more logic, pragmatism, practical. So
German is more gray.
Yeah, German's more gray, and Western is a bit more black and white.
I do think that's the way that we started approaching it. It's like, okay, well, this happens. This is the impact. And then there are some crimes where, like, if you drive drunk and you kill somebody, especially if you've gotten pulled over for a DUI, you've been arrested for DUI before, like, there's a certain number of times that this is up to a judge, but like, it'll be first degree murder sometimes. People will go away forever killing somebody driving drunk if they've had a propensity to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because then it's like, okay, what's the difference between that and premeditated murder? You kind of knew what you were doing, right?
Okay. As we close things up, favorite thing about your favorite episode of Wonderhole, the 1 star, like what sticks with you? 1 star hotel.
The funniest part of the episode in my mind when we screened it back, and it was one of those times when we conceptualized it, we had this vision for what would happen right before the montage.
Yeah.
And then I picked out that song for the montage.
It's like the gospel track.
Yeah, something like a Kirk Franklin type thing.
Right.
And when I saw that in the first time we screened it, and it was just so satisfying, and there's some things that we do in that montage that made me laugh out loud.
The pantomiming of the lifting and dropping of bags.
Yes.
Yeah, because we didn't that was just like in the moment. We were like, we need to get some shots of the progression, and then we just kind of made it up. And I think you were doing something, and then I seem to remember TJ saying something about like picking up the, act like you're picking up the bags or something.
Yeah, because I'm a bellboy.
But then the way that but there wasn't any bags. So you were modeling your new hat.
That sticks out in my mind of as a favorite part. A favorite, not the favorite.
I mean the hot tub moment is nice. Oh, yeah. That was nice for me.
And that's what leads directly into the montage. Like the way those scenes tie together.
Yeah. Also think that every scene, we did the scene with rain, like, we probably shot it, well, we would shoot a scene and, then we would get different coverage and we might learn some things and then we would shoot it again. And then we might get different coverage of different parts of it. Like when we're having the interaction with the phone. Like I said, all right, now let's go back. Let's do the whole part where he comes up and we meet him. Let's do that a couple of times. And then we'll move on to the second half of the scene where we're fiddle farting around with trying to get the selfie. And he exits. And I definitely remember sitting at that table and just watching him and Beth kind of find each other. And that, like, in terms of the experience, I mean, I really like the final product, the edited scene, but like, I will remember the experience of watching the stuff that Rain was gonna pull out of his hat that we didn't know it was coming. Right, I got a real kick out of that in the moment, not knowing what he was gonna say.
Right, because it's all improv.
And I think the pregnancy part, like there was this pregnancy afterbirth thing that did make it into the final cut.
Yeah.
And I have to believe that Beth just threw that at Rain. And then Rain did. So then Rain was like yes-anding the birth with like this afterbirth cleanup thing or something.
Yeah.
However it happened spontaneously.
Right.
And we had a front row seat to it. So I think that's one of the things that I'm taking from this episode.
Thanks for listening, and thanks for watching Wonderhole. Go over and watch it if you haven't.
And we will talk to you next week. Remember, call us if you're blind or if you're not.
Hey, Rhett Link. You guys are philosophers. You don't know it, but you are. You guys have been doing cultural critique under the guise of taste tests and almost unhinged humor. You don't just eat food or just review products or try things no one cares to try. You dissect us. The way we consume, the way we parent, the way we chase novelty like it's going to save us. You're not just funny. You're existentially funny. And that's why I've never connected to anything else on the internet like I connect to you. So, keep philosophizing, even if you don't call it that.
The Good Mythical Marathon Sale is here. Today through Sunday, spend more to save more on some of your favorites at mythical.com.